What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more on the HermitPack. Now I have some good and bad news, and it's actually the exact same thing. It is that we now have a ton of resources. Now I know that may seem like just good news. Obviously, looking in this chest right here, it seems great. We basically have everything we could possibly need, except for one thing, which is lapis. I am running extremely low on lapis after last episode, where we used a fair bit of it, but I do need some of that for the environmental tech solar panels I want to make. But other than that, we are perfectly fine on resources, way more than I could possibly need. I'm sure later on I'll need more resources in the series, and I'll be like, okay, well, I was wrong in episode 6 saying I had all the resources I need, but for the time being, this is way more than we could possibly need. The only problem that comes along with this is the storage. And obviously, you know, I could turn a lot of these into blocks and everything, but it still becomes a problem when I leave this on overnight. And I could put a crafter down and, you know, craft all these into blocks and get rid of some of the clay that we don't need, and, you know, some of the hardened stone, these random miscellaneous blocks that are in here, that these should be getting dumped in here. Honestly, I thought they would be, the basalt and stuff. But aside from that, we still have a ton of stuff. And as most of you will know if you have seen my series before, and I suspect a lot of you have, it's that I am super bad with storage. It's basically, without fail, every single series, mostly with the Surviving With series, because they don't come along with, you know, most mods do not have built-in storage capabilities. So usually in the Surviving With series, I get kind of screwed over when it comes to storage. But luckily, we are playing in a mod pack now, which is very refreshing because it basically has a solution for everything. And the solution for this problem is called Refined Storage, which is basically AE2. I haven't really messed around with it as Refined Storage, but it's the same exact thing. So you set up essentially a disk drive that will be able to store all your items in it, and you can upgrade it, and you can basically automate a bunch of machines attached to this, and it's almost without fail going to be the best way to go every single time. So I think it looks really cool. Obviously this block, the creative controller, looks awesome. Unfortunately it's a creative controller, so you know we're not really going to be using that, but I think the texture looks awesome on that one. We'll be using the regular boring controller, but that's perfectly fine. I think it still has the same texture. I don't know if it'll light up the same. I hope it does. But aside from that, we're going to be messing around with this today to fix the storage problem. And we're not going to be making anything super fancy. I just need a place to dump all of the junk that's in the base, because soon, and I'm going to talk about this a fair bit when I'm doing a lot of the crafting today, because there will be a little bit that we need to do, but soon I'm going to be moving bases, because as much as I love this one, it's a very quaint base. I actually really like that it's kind of a small, compact base. It's really not big enough to do the projects that I'd like to do, and you know, there's a lot of large scale things that I'd like to get into. So first things first that I want to talk about is, I mean, I was pretty proud when I found out about this, but honestly, you guys probably already knew about this because I don't play on mod packs very much. I don't experience many different mods combined, but the first thing that we need to make is a solderer. And normally it'd be like a controller and all the stuff that goes along with it, but eventually we're going to need a solderer. We're going to need a lot of different stuff that requires the solderer, and basically this thing is going to be our best friend right here. It looks different than the solderers I'm used to using, but you know, that's real life compared to Minecraft. It's not really close to being similar, but for this we need some quartz enriched iron. Now I really detested seeing that this was like a thing we needed, because I do not have much nether quartz right now, but luckily you only need 1 per 4, so I went out, I got roughly a stack. That should be enough for us, but we need this, and then along with that we need sticky pistons. And of course, sticky pistons are not very difficult to get. Usually the more difficult thing to get would probably be anything else that we're going to be crafting today, but because I am nowhere near where we can get slime balls, I was kind of worried. But then I forgot we're in a mod pack right now, so it is almost irrelevant that I do not have access to slime balls, because there's so many different things that I could use. So obviously, I could turn the magma cream into slime balls using the industrial centrifuge from IC2. I did remember that right off the top of my head from the Surviving With series, but unfortunately, we have not gotten into IC2. I don't feel like crafting that and going out of my way just to make that. It is relatively expensive to make, so we're not going to do that. We are going to use, and I gotta wait for it to come around again, the rice slime ball. So that is from a, oh gosh, well, what is it from? I don't even remember what mod it's from. Actually, Additions. I was going to say the mod we've been using this whole time. I love the mod. It is so great. It has saved my butt so many times. But to make this, you just need some rice dough and some water. And to get the rice dough, you just take 3 rice and it turns it into 2 rice dough. So the rice grows in water. It's basically just like a floating plant on water. I went out, I collected some, and we are only going to need to make 2 sets of rice dough. We'll get 4, and then I need some water. I don't have any on me right now, and honestly, I'm gonna go sleep because I almost blew up my base off camera. I'll tell you guys the story in a second when I can actually go and pretty much show you guys what was this achievement? Oh, I don't even know what that achievement was for. But so basically the problem is this right here has caused my base to almost get blown up a lot, and it's because things will walk around. They'll see me through this door right here. They will walk over onto the smeltery and then hop over the fence. So it kind of defeats the purpose of the fence, and a creeper got into the base and it was not good. But yeah, we'll just, I mean, eventually I'll have to move this. We're going to be moving soon anyway, like I said, so it's not a huge problem. Speaking of creepers, we got one right here, our nice friend. And eventually I'll have to go and light things up. Oh my gosh, why? Okay. Okay. You know what? This guy has good armor too. This is going to take forever. But basically we're going to be moving soon. I guess I'll use this time to talk about it too. We're going to be moving soon though, because I really like this base over here. I love the way it looks, and I'm going to keep it as a base. I kind of want to make more of a town than just a single base. Obviously I'd prefer to have a main base, but oh, this is so bad, so bad. I don't know how to fight these 2 guys at the same time. Oh, that's another creeper hole that we're falling into. Okay. Well, he only has a chest plate, so he shouldn't take too long to kill. There we go. We got the nice zombie head. I actually want to make sure I pick this up. Okay, yeah. I want to make sure I pick this up. And we get to repair the nice divot in the ground. Funny story, this is basically what it's like when I golf. If you guys don't know, and I don't know why you would, I played lacrosse in high school for 3 years, and then senior year I basically decided I wanted to be a slacker. I didn't really want to put in much effort into sports, so I joined the golf team with a bunch of my friends, and I made it. Obviously it was like varsity. I didn't really play. I just got to play golf every day and kind of practice. But yeah, so I played on the varsity golf team, again with air quotes, and man, I was so bad. But yeah, just a fun fact for you. So there we go. We got the rice slime balls, and now we just got to go. I'm going to dump off as much of this stuff as I can because we really don't need more inventory space being taken up right now. So there we go. We should be good with that. And now we need to do a little bit of kind of collecting some stuff that we're going to need. So we're going to grab out some redstone, roughly a stack. We got some iron. I definitely have a bunch of cobble down here in this chest, and the wood should be over here. So if we've learned anything from last episode, it's that I really shouldn't try and tell stories while I'm doing crafting, but I think I'll be fine. So you know what? Let's just do this. Boom. Problem solved. There's no open space in here for stuff to get chucked in. Problem solved. Clearly I am really smart in that regard. So there we go. We got that set up, and now we just need to make these please work. Please tell me it's going to work. I don't know why it wouldn't work, but if it's one of those things that like I got my hopes up for these working. Okay, there we go. Sticky pistons working great. Honestly, I would make a farm for rice just to make this. Like a small farm, yeah, but really I would just to make that. So for now, we're only going to craft a little bit of the iron, quartz enriched iron, because we do need quartz for other stuff and I don't want to waste it. But here we go. So we got the solderer, and we're only going to make one of these. Obviously, eventually I should make a lot more, and when it comes to automating the production of stuff, which I enjoy doing with AE2, and I will do with this, because it's pretty easy to. As far as I know, there have been some changes. It might be a little bit harder now to do it, but we have this, and you can add upgrades, and I believe, where's the speed upgrade? Speed upgrade is right here. I don't know how many we can add to this, if it's the same as before where you could add like 4. But I'd like to make some of these. It just requires us to have a solderer before we make them, and that's why I've got the sugar cane in my inventory to make the sugar. And then we need to make this upgrade, which requires a fair bit of just some glass, a processor, which requires printed silicon, so all that stuff. But it's going to be going over here. This is where the setup is going to be placed eventually. So this chest right here is just storing kind of miscellaneous blocks in it, and I'm going to go make another chest down here to stick all this stuff in, because I feel like when I break that chest, oh, I already have a chest in here. I feel like when I break that chest up there, it's not going to give it back to me. So we can put all of this stuff right, for now we'll put it right here. It's really irrelevant where it goes for the time being, just because Obviously, all of it's going to get dumped into the same storage area in like 20 some minutes. I don't know how long it's going to take for this episode, but it's all going to get dumped in there eventually, and there's really no space in here left anymore, which is a little bit unfortunate. You know what? Get that nickel ore out of there. Okay. And then we'll dump this upstairs. Really running low on inventory space, as you guys can see. Pretty rough. But we're just going to break this right here, and we'll just move the blocks over very slowly. These blocks right here aren't blocks that I ever plan on using other than the sandstone, but you know, a lot of people told me that I should probably keep them around. Like alabaster is not bad to have, so I thought, you know what, I'll just go with it. We'll keep them around somewhere. Obviously the clay is nice to have to make. Basically a lot of stuff can be made with clay. A lot of stuff can be made from what clay can be turned into when you process it. So it's always good to have that. But I always have to turn it into blocks because we get so much of it. So there we go. We have all of that moved now. It's going to go right over in this corner here for the time being. Not going to be that big. I think we only need to run power to the controller. So we'll put the controller down here. And that is why I have these 10 conduit facade in my inventory. I hope I'm saying that right. Like, honestly, I don't know why I had like some complex in the first episode or second episode when we used these, and I called it like a facade, and so many people in the comments were like ripping their hair out, and I usually pride myself on being able to pronounce words correctly, and then everyone in the comments is like, hey, you thought you didn't pronounce it correctly, but you did. But this one I pronounced it wrong, and I so wish I could have taken it back when I said it, because I knew it was like one of those things where as you're saying it, you know you're saying it wrong, but you just keep saying it. And I just kept saying it. And where we need birchwood because we're going to run it through the floor. But yeah, it was one of those scenarios. It was bad. So, you know, if I'm saying it wrong again, just exit out of the video. Just please. Because it's going to be said wrong the whole time. And it's better to not shame me and just click off the video. But we're going to use these. We're going to run it probably right along here. I think 10 is the exact amount. It should pop up right over here, and then we can put the controller right here, and everything adjacent should get power from the controller, I think. So we'll get that. A lot of you guys told me that, and I can't even see what this is, but these are the Ender IO capacitors, but they were kind of weird ones. They don't look like the capacitors I'm used to from Ender IO, but we found them in the Desert Temple early on, and everyone last episode, I don't know why it was last episode, but everyone just started commenting. They were like, use the capacitors. So I put them on there. Everything should be good now. You don't need to get mad at me anymore. Okay, let's get this out in the inventory here and run it along here. We might actually be one short, which would really disappoint me. But hopefully it won't be a problem. So let's throw these down. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, we are one short. Very disappointing. I don't know if I could easily make some more binder composite, which I probably will just do right now because we've got the time. We're not in a rush or anything. So it's going to take some clay, gravel, and sand. The one thing I don't know if I have is gravel. Yep, we got the gravel there. We have a very small amount of sand right there. Sandstone can go in there because we don't need it. And do I have any clay down here? I don't actually know if I have clay down here. It's not looking like it. So do I have any over here? No. So I'll just head upstairs. We have an abundance of clay up here. So there we go. We'll make some binder composite. We'll set that to process really quick. There we go. And that'll make more than enough for what we need today. Just trash that because I really could not care less at this point. Binder composite, we will process just one of these. It now goes a lot faster, which is actually really good. It was pretty darn slow before. And so that made crafting stuff on camera a little bit of a pain in the butt. But here we go. Paint this with the birchwood planks again. And awesome. So pull out our conduits. We should have more than enough to run it over there. And we can just run it down here. And there we go. So the solderer should need power first too. So we might as well throw this down over here. Oh, does it not need power? Huh. I thought it would need power. Maybe it does, and I just can't tell right now, but we'll go back to refined storage, and the first thing we need to make is going to be a controller, but I'd like to make a speed upgrade for this first. I think we can do 4 for these 4 slots over here, so we're going to do that. Speed upgrade requires the sugar and the redstone, very easy, and then this one requires the glass, the enriched iron, and then we need Wow, it's actually really expensive for one upgrade, but we might as well test it out. Then we need this. So we need printed silicone and printed improved processor. So we need some gold. Now we're going to need some diamonds today. We're going to need some gold, so we might as well get a stack of that. And then we are going to need this nether quartz to get the correct silicone. But let's see. Is there anything else that we're going to need? No, not really. One thing I wanted to test out right now is, does this one work to make printed silicone? No, okay, it doesn't. Then over here we can grab this out, and I'm pretty sure, let's go to, where is it? Printed processor, so we need, that would be the iron. Where's the printed silicone? So the refined storage one requires this to be smelted down. So let's turn this into regular furnace mode only, and let's make one of these. Wait, what? Do I need to cook it in a regular furnace? That's so annoying. If this actually has to be cooked down in a regular furnace, that's super obnoxious. But we'll throw 7 in here anyway, so we get an extra. So we get all the ones that we need. Wow. Okay, that's unfortunate. I assume putting it on regular furnace up here would actually make it work. But if we throw that in there, does it process? Or does it... Okay, I don't know what this actually needs to start going. I might have to hop off camera. I just assume... Oh, needs to be connected with the controller by placing it adjacent. Okay, so we actually need the controller first. Okay, let's not talk about that. The nice thing about the controller is, as you can see, these are interchangeable right here. Ender IO and this silicone are interchangeable. So that's the really nice thing. That's how we can kind of circumvent the need for a lot of it. So if you don't already know, obviously, you can get this by using sand, and we have an abundance of sand around here. But, okay, so we need to connect this with the controller first. So I guess that makes a little bit of sense. So we basically just need to do a bunch of crafting of stuff that's pretty easy to make. So we're going to need, let's make 3 sets of these. So there we go. And then we need to turn this into a, what is that, machine casing first. And we actually need to put this somewhere. So we'll actually use this over here for the time being. And then we need 4 more. And so actually do we have everything we need for this? Okay, yeah, we do. Okay, cool. So there we go. We have the controller. So the controller is going to be the one that's hooked up to power. I'm pretty sure this can transmit power to everything else that's hooked up adjacent to this. And that's kind of its purpose. Yeah, so you... What? Wait, what? Okay, it said the solderer was hooked up to it. Can this process now? Yeah, now it can process. So we're going to take that out, and we're going to see if this can process. Okay, so this works. This works. Okay, that's great, because we need the quartz for other stuff. So I was a little bit worried because it doesn't actually show it in this recipe over here. Yeah, see, it doesn't show that this one works, unlike the other ones. But luckily enough, that does work, which is great. It means we can save the rest of this. I'm a little bit mad that I tried to utilize the coal to its full ability, and I wasted 7 nether quartz. That's so valuable to me. Which is actually, it's really valuable to me. I'm not even kidding right now. Like, I laugh. But that basically is because I'm dying inside, because it's so hard for me to come by. I can't wait until I can start using like the void resource or ore miner. I think you can get some with that. I hope you can get some with that. Really hope. But okay, so we're going to use, where is it? Speed upgrade. I don't know why this is so hard for me to remember. Improved processor. So we need the redstone along with that. So that and redstone. There we go. Okay, so I want the speed upgrade because this is pretty darn slow right here, and we need to do a fair bit of crafting on camera. Now, obviously, if it stays to be very slow, then I will just, hop off camera, and we won't make more speed upgrades. I'll just end up crafting all of it while watching some Netflix. Okay, so with this one, speed upgrade, then it just takes this, which is a lot of quartz-enriched iron, and then we need some glass along with that. I really should just bring this up here, the crafting bench. Or station, but unfortunately for now we're just gonna run between the two. So we need to make a little bit more quartz enriched iron, try and use as little as possible while we do this, and we should be able to shift click everything in there at this point. That's a crafting upgrade. Okay, so speed upgrade, this one, there we go. So we got our upgrade there. Now we just need to make the speed part, which is going to require us, do I have the sugar cane on me? Turn that into sugar for the speed. Oh yes, it looks cool. Okay, so this, I don't know actually what this power is. I assume it's RS, stands for refined storage per tick. I don't actually know, but basically that just goes up by how much stuff we have connected to it. So let's toss this in there. We'll let that go, and now everyone just remember the speed of what it's going at right now. We got to see how much it increases it by. We need to find the magnitude that it goes up by to see if this is actually worth it, because if it isn't, I'm going to be a little bit ticked off. Okay, so speed upgrade. Now the next thing we're going to do is just do some more printed silicone. Okay, that's actually significantly faster. I don't know if it's certain things craft faster than others in here, but that was actually significantly faster. That's really, really nice. So we have our controller now. We're going to try and hold off on making upgrades for a little bit. But now we are going to we could make a grid, and that would just allow us to access this. But I really want to make a crafting grid. So of course we need to make a grid first, but we're not going to have both. There's really no point. This is just kind of an upgraded grid. So the first thing that we need to make for this would be 2 construction cores, 1 destruction core, which requires a bunch of basic processors. So we'll throw let's put 9 iron in here, and let's just allow that to process first. And then we can, this one requires, it's a lot of printed silicone too. So I'll throw, let's throw honestly, let's throw 30 in here once the iron finishes, and then I'll use that time to discuss the new base with you guys, because I am the worst multitasker in the world. I can multitask in class, but for some reason I can't multitask while doing Minecraft stuff, which is a little bit sad. So we'll do, you know what, let's just do all of that in there, because, you know what, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that because we actually need that for other stuff. So we'll just restack the diamonds, and there we go. So basically my plan for another base, and I will sleep while we're talking about this, is going to be obviously same setup and same area. I really don't feel like moving somewhere else. I like this area a lot, but I want to build it into this mountain. It's not really a mountain, it's just kind of like a small hill of sand over here. I'd like to build it into that because I think it could be really darn cool. I want to make it pretty big, and I kind of want to build it into the terrain, and then of course this one will be close. We can make a road between the two. We can have some farms out here, tree farm I need to make very soon, and all that. We can organize stuff, kind of spruce up the land a little bit. I want to have things like fountains and you know, little gardens and stuff over to make it a little bit more lively. Obviously the desert can be a little bland, basically just, you know, kind of just, again, bleh, like what I said in episode 1 when we made the base. I mean, that's really what it is, and I like the concept of it, but it can get a little dull at times. So that's where I want to put the base, and I mean, it's not going to be anything special, but I think it'll look cool. So we need to make 2 improved processors for that. So we'll do the gold now, and what needed the basic processors? Oh, okay, so these needed the basic processors here. So we can do that. The silicone can just stay in there. The redstone's going to be in there for a while. We can just leave those stacks in there, and then we'll throw in some of the iron after this finishes processing. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to make the new base. I was actually very tempted to hold off on doing all of this stuff before making the new base, just because we're going to be moving it very, very soon. But we might as well get it done now. There's really no point in not doing it. Ooh, I don't know if I have any glowstone right now. We might actually be taking a trip to the nether. Do I have any glowstone in here? How do I not have glowstone yet? I've been to the nether so much. Well, we're taking a trip to the nether, boys. Okay. At least we have something to do while the processing stuff happens up there, even though it's probably already done. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about, and I guess it's actually very relevant to what's going on right now, and we got to be very careful in here because there were a lot of blaze in here last time. Okay, of course that right there is over a ton of lava. Where are the blaze? Where are the blaze? We actually just need like 1 block, 1 or 2 blocks. Okay, that's enough right there. But something I wanted to talk about is obviously with the Surviving With series, and I've brought this up before, but I'd really, really like everyone kind of giving their ideas and opinions this episode specifically, because obviously we're a couple episodes into the series now. I've really been enjoying it. You guys seem to really be enjoying it. Aside from the boring episodes like last episode, I know it was kind of boring. We didn't really get much done. It was a little bit of a flop, but when, you know, I'm doing all this stuff on camera and gathering things and just kind of playing through the game and talking, which is obviously like what people do during a Let's Play, I'm just curious if you guys enjoy that or not. Because, you know, if you don't like that and you prefer I have everything ready to go before we get on camera, obviously the episodes will be a lot shorter. You'll get a lot less DrRageHard, but maybe that's what you want. So feel free to let me know, because obviously I do value what you guys think. So, you know, post in the comments, and here we go. So we got everything that we should need for this. I think we should have everything except the machine casing, and give me that. Do we have more iron? Do we have the iron that we need? I don't think we do. I think we need to make a little bit more, Where did we drop the quartz? Yeah, of course that's the one that we drop. There we go. Okay, so we got the refined iron back. Oh man, running out of inventory space. This is why I so badly want this new let me drop this. There we go. Okay. I wanted to drop it and it wasn't letting me drop it. So we need the destruction core. Okay, give me the destruction core. Now let me drop that. Whatever. Here we go. Okay, craft this. We got the grid. Very messy inventory. Drop that clay over. Just drop all this stuff over here. We're gonna have. I don't want to do that, but we're gonna have basically fixed all of this very soon. So the next thing we need to do is make a crafting table. And what is the last thing over here? So an advanced processor, which is basically just throwing some diamond in here to start. Grab out these processors, and then we're gonna throw the redstone, printed silicone, and that back in. And this is why I really want to automate this. This would be super nice to have automated for everything. When we can eventually do automated crafting, it's actually very easy to do. And again, I think I'd mentioned this before, but I don't think there are crafting storage things anymore. I have not seen them yet, which is I'm really looking forward to that, because I hated that. I hated having to deal with that. It was such a pain in the butt. But the minute we get this done, we can make the disk drive, which is again really easy to do, and then we can make some simple storage parts. And I think these get put into, so these get then put into the disk right here if we want to make them separately, or we can make them together and we'll be good. So the crafting grid should go right here. So it lights up. We got some power. How much are we using down here now? 9 RS per tick. Very easy. So this uses 6. This uses 3. You know, I think other parts can get put adjacent to this one, and as long as they're in like a chain, it works. But we can't click stuff in just yet. Almost. So we need to make some of these parts to store this. Now, we're not going to worry about fluid. We're not actually going to use blocks. We're going to use the discs. And honestly, I'd be okay with like a 4K disc to start right now. So I think we have the basic processors that we are going to need for the time being. We've got more than enough for that. Then we need the 1K storage parts. And that is going to be very easy to make, very easy to make, because we have the silicone, so we need the enriched iron, and then some glass. We already have that, so we can easily just craft. Oh, that happened before. When you right click on these, you like get sucked into them. Can you like sit on those things? I don't know, but I think you can. Okay, so we're a little bit low on the enriched iron again. We're just going to cave and we're going to make a ton of it. That's not really a ton, but we're going to make a fair bit of it. And we're just going to craft a bunch of these. So there we go. Wow, do we use a lot of silicone? Yeah, we actually did. Why did I think I could turn clay into that? I felt like I could turn clay into that. Let me check real quick. The uses for clay. Nope, that's not what we want. Uses for clay. I thought we could process that into this. No, can we use a clay up here for it? I really thought we could. Where's the sag mill? Okay, so it's got a chance at turning into that. Or no, it will. If you process a... Okay, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. That is why I was saving all of this clay right here. You're about to see why. You basically trade like 1 for 2 with this. So drop that in there. Yeah, see, there we go. You're trading 1 for 2. You're going to get clay back to make it into a clay block, and then you turn it into silicone too. So that's how we're going to get all of it. Boom, right there. This whole setup has just become exponentially better. Okay. So there we go. So we now have all these different parts that we need, and we have to craft as much up as we want. It's a little bit annoying because I don't know if you can, like, once you make a disc, if you can separate it into its initial like storage part. I don't think you can. So once you craft one, you're kind of stuck with it. So I'd prefer to make like a 16K to start. I don't know if we can actually do that, but let's look at the 16K part, what we need. So the improved processors are no issue. The 4K mean that we are going to require 3 and 3, so we need 9. So it's actually not bad. We just need to make a bunch more iron processed upstairs. So, oh gosh, let's not hover over that. That looks so bad. So we can toss the iron in here and let this whole thing process, and then we can toss some silicone in there. So I'm actually going to hop off camera now. I don't have a ton more that I need to talk about. I don't want to bore you guys and just kind of extend the episode more than it needs to be. So when we hop back, we'll actually have some storage ready to go. We'll have the disk drive ready to go and start moving some stuff over to this. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so we are back. Now it actually did not take very long. I didn't realize that the main part that I was missing out on was actually some redstone in my inventory. So I made a lot more than I actually needed to in terms of basic processors and printed basic processors. So eventually, obviously, they'll come in handy, but it actually was only like 5 minutes off camera that I needed to set this up. But What we're going to be doing now is swapping in the stuff to make the disk drive. It's a machine casing, an oak chest, and then an advanced processor. Probably take a fair bit of time to make compared to the other stuff, but once we get that down, we'll slap it down. We're going to make a 16K storage part, and then we'll throw that into the casing, or we'll make it all as one into a storage disk, and then we will put that in the disk drive. And off camera, I'll make some upgrades to it, but let's see if it hooks up right here properly. So it should hook up. Yeah, so it does hook up properly. It doesn't need to be in one of the 4 adjacent slots next to this, or I guess there'd be 6 technically, but you can't use all 6 because you might need to click on this. But let's see how much power it uses. So it doesn't use any right now, but we do need to go make the disk slot for this. So we should have everything we need to make this. We need to click in here, make the 16K storage part, and then we need to go over and make the storage disk. Missing out on the enriched iron. Definitely a recipe that I'm going to make with a pattern for auto crafting. Definitely one, and I'll set it so I want a minimum amount of these stored at every time so that this never becomes an issue again. But we now have our storage disk that we need. Got to make sure since it's nighttime that nothing follows us inside downstairs and blows up. But there we go. So we're using 0 out of 16K. Time to test it out. Dump all of this junk in my inventory in here that we actually would use. I'm not going to dump random stuff in there, but all this stuff in here that we are using we'll throw in there, and we get to see that it is 1% full. I really love that this actually has like kind of a 3-dimensional texture on it with the disc popping out. And now we can start moving some of this stuff over. Definitely not enough space to start auto pumping this stuff in there. Eventually I will do that, and this whole storage area over here will not be an issue, but chances are I'm not even going to do that until we get to the new base. It might be a little bit until we move everything over, but I'll probably start working on the new base in the coming episodes, maybe do a little bit of building on camera if you guys want to see that. But I'm pretty happy with the progress that we made today. I know it was a fair bit of crafting on camera, but there was a lot of different stuff that I wanted to talk about with you guys. But like I said, feel free to kind of give your input in the comments. I would really appreciate it if you prefer to see more direct episodes at just like no crafting in them, no running around kind of gathering anything, just direct episodes, let me know. Or if you prefer these kind of 30 to 45 minute episodes, also let me know. It really is up to you guys. I'm perfectly fine with doing either of them. It just depends on how much you guys want to watch. But again, if you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to give it a like, as it does help me out a lot. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later.